Well, David, after the house, the car is the thing that we spend the next biggest amount of money on.
You're absolutely right.
It's worth looking after, isn't it?
Definitely. And with the CarMaster Speed Wax, you're going to be able to get a fabulous shine and a protective finish on the car. With this, it's got Knorr wax in it. It's got all of the ingredients that's going to keep your car clean, shiny and polished, and it's going to do it very, very quickly. In fact, it says on here, polish, protect and shine in one easy application. And it says that because it means it.
And this is another kind of Valitor's secret, isn't it? Because this is a trade formula. We shouldn't have it.
We shouldn't really. It's got a trade price on the back. It's not the cheapest polish in the world. It's $14.99. But I know with you, Derek, you're going to treat everybody
yes.
during the demonstration. So do watch how it works. We'll give you a few trade tips. And actually, we'll show you a great deal as well. But all
Brilliant.
I'm doing is I'm using it with the sponge. And what you're going to do is you're going to wash your car first, because let me tell you something. If you go over your car with a cloth or a sponge, you will scratch it if there's any grit or dirt on there. If you just give it a quick hose down, you will get rid of all the particles, and then you can apply the polish absolutely simply and easily and get a beautiful shine. I think you'll agree with me, the shine on that surface is absolutely second to none.
It's absolutely brilliant. I tell you what, as well, you get a real satisfaction. If you're doing the car yourself, you get the satisfaction of having done it. You see it there on the drive, gleaming and shining and everything else. Make a note of that item number, because you are going to need it. As soon as we crash the price on this, you will see a phenomenal deal. And if you think about one of these bottles, David, how many cars could I realistically clean?
You'll get about 5 cars out of the one bottle.
That's brilliant.
So it's going to clean and polish the glass, the windows, the mirrors, all around the surface. Now I've polished that, but then I've sprayed water onto it, and you can see the water beads. Now what that means is that the wax in there is protecting the surface. As that car moves, all those water beads will simply roll off. But let me show you something else, because what you'll do at home is you'll take that polish and you'll put a little bit on the sponge. Now I want you to see that is what you call a blob of polish.
That's really rich, isn't it?
Isn't it? And that is because it's not let down or diluted, it's not watery or runny, and that's pure polish with the wax that's going to do the job. Now I've got water on here, so just to show you the simple way to use it is to apply the polish in a circular motion, and it dries the paintwork and it waxes it in one very simple action. You go right round the car, you do the windows, the chrome, the mirrors, you even do the black plastic bumpers if you have them. It will polish and shine that surface in seconds, and look at the finish I've got there. It's absolutely fantastic. Now I know,
and we should just make it clear that this isn't, you know, this isn't from one of your Pride and Joy brand new out of the garage, is it?
This was a scrapyard bonnet, so actually it's
come up nicely.
It has come up beautifully.
What are you doing?
Well, if I put some tar on there, that's actually road tar from the road surface that's very, very difficult to shift. Let me just show you. If I put a little bit of polish on there, I'm going to leave it. There's another blob. That's the blob of polish.
That's very good.
I'm going to leave that on there for a few seconds and let it get to work. Go round the car, put a little bit of polish on all of the tar and all of the little marks, the bird lime, the tree sap. Let it soak in and do its work. By the time you come round to where you started, that tar will have softened. You take the cloth and you simply, you hold on to that, Derek.
I will.
You take the cloth and you simply, look at that, polish that away. And I think that is absolutely fantastic. Not only has it taken the tar away, the bird lime, the tree sap, but it's also left the surface in absolute pristine condition.
All right, that's the paintwork, David, but there are plenty of other surfaces.
Yes.
Where are the other cleaners for those?
Well, you've got everything in one bottle. You can do chrome, you can do glass, windows, mirrors with this, you can do all of the plastic bumpers and everything else. And in fact, when we talk about protection, this polish will protect the paintwork because of the Knorr wax. I don't know if we've got a video. We did a little demonstration outside. We couldn't do it in the studio.
Annie, have we? Let's have a little look, shall we?
We did it outside because I don't want anybody to try this at home. It's a very dangerous demonstration. We actually set fire to a Jaguar. Now, you know, we could have picked any car, but we picked an expensive one.
Wowzers.
So now we've got flames on the surface. It's actually going to burn the paintwork, but because it's protected, it's actually not going to blister or crack the paint.
Oh, you've got to be brave to do this.
I know. And we've put more and more lighter fluid on there to burn it. It's like petrol on the surface. Now I'm cooling it down because there's a burn on there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's steam coming off the surface. That was a very windy day and it is very hot. So we cool the surface down, and then I'm going to show you how to get the burn mark out. So we take the Carmaster polish.
And a blob.
There's the blob on the sponge, and we go over the surface. You can see the burn mark coming out straight away. You can see it coming onto the sponge, and that surface is very quickly and very simply polished back to its original condition. And you saw what I did there? I just flipped the sponge over. You go from one side to the other, and you get the sponge in the kit as well. That sponge will then apply the polish, remove the dirt and grime, and leave it in pristine condition. And that, for me, is absolutely fantastic. It really is.
And I tell you what, the thing I've noticed about this, David, is... oh, hang on, I'll come back to that in just a second, because it is crash time. Remember, you have got the Valitor's secret here. Every bottle... Actually, let me show you what you're getting. Come over with me and let me show you what you're actually going to get for just $24.99. This you're going to have to be quick for. You are getting 2 of these half-litre bottles of the Carmaster polish. Each one of them has a trade price of $14.99. So we've already got a discount, but hang on, it's not good enough for you guys. I've actually been given some more. So how about if you call us right now, remember it's a free call, it's not going to cost you a penny, 0808 123 3333. We're going to pop you another 2 bottles at no extra charge. So actually you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if we go by the trade prices just for a second, $14.99, $14.99, $14.99, $14.99. Should we just call that a nice round 60 quid? For $24.99. You are going to have to be quick though. Remember what you are getting right now. Not just 1, not just 2, not just 3, but 4 bottles of the Carmaster polish. You're getting your 5 cleaning cloths and you're getting the jumbo sponge. And that was a point I was just about to actually make with David, and I'll go back and make it in just a second. You think about it, how many times have you been to a car park that's offered you a valet service and you thought, oh yeah, while I do my shopping, I'll leave it there. You might pay 25 quid for that on its own, won't it? And of course, as soon as you come out of the car park, a seagull swoops by. You know the rest of the story, don't you? Well, with this, you can do the job yourself. You can have the satisfaction of doing it yourself. It does a good job. It can get rid of all of those nasty marks that you get on your car. It cleans and protects with the wax as well. I tell you what, I'd be straight on the phone lines for this. Remember, that call is free. And if you do have a little bit of a wait on the phone, don't worry, because you can just carry on watching and we're paying for the call. 0808 123 3333. Or you can order, remember, on the website at pricecrash.tv. Now, David, I was just about to say, a lot of people, when they put car polish on, they put it on with a cloth like this and they just smear it all over the place, no idea where they're going.
That's right.
You've got a lot of surface area on a sponge, so it's actually quicker as well, is it?
Exactly, it is quicker and it's easier to go all the way around. Now, I'm just spraying water on there. Just once again, I want to show you. You see the water beading appearing on there. The bubbles of water, they will just run off the surface. But here's how you do it. You wash the car, you don't even have to dry it. So a lot of places, they tell you, leather the car dry. You can see the wax there. See how thick and rich that is. Now take the wax on the sponge, Knorr wax in there as well as lots of other things. As you go around the car, it will dry the surface and it will wax it, polish it and protect it all in one simple, easy go. That's done. That's all you have to do.
But you don't need to leave it there for an hour or anything like that?
No, and in fact it doesn't matter if you do leave it. It's better just to wax it and then as it hazes over, you just dust it over. But actually, if I turn the sponge over, as I showed you in that video, you can just go over it with the back of the sponge and that will bring up a beautiful shine. And I think you'll agree with me, that job is done. It's a matter of moments and you'll get the whole of the car polished and waxed. You get the cloths, as you said, and you get the sponge, and you've put the extra 2 bottles in, which is quite incredible, really. For everybody jumping on the phones, you're going to get a fantastic deal.
Again, sorry, I think it is worthy of showing you again. It's a trade formula. It has a trade price. So the price on each bottle of this is the price we should sell it at, £14.99. Remember, in this deal, you're getting 2 bottles already, plus we're including another 2 at no extra charge. That is like 60 quid's worth for about a third of the price there.
Yeah, and a bit more with the extra cloths and sponge and everything. But yeah, you're right, it's a fantastic deal. Now, one of the things a lot of people are frightened of doing is getting any polish onto any of the plastic parts of the car. You know, with some polishes, it dries in, you've got to get a toothbrush or a nail brush and start scrubbing and rubbing. With this, you can go over the surface, either turn the sponge over and finish off, and there's your beautiful finish. Now again, the idea of it is that on any surface you use it on, it's not going to make it gleam and shine unless unless it's meant to. So
Okay.
if you've got a gloss finish on your paintwork, it will return it to a gloss finish.
Yeah.
If you've got a matte finish on your plastic parts, it will return it to a matte finish. So it will leave that bright and shiny without any white chalk or haziness, and all you do is you dust over and that job is absolutely done.
Can I just ask you for a second, how long have you had your car? And do you remember the joy when you got it? Because the showroom prepared it beautifully, or the dealership, and it looked immaculate. And over years, you know, water stains. When the rain comes down, it stains after a while, doesn't it? You've got birds who are leaving their bits and pieces all over the place as well, aren't they? This is going to do that for you, remember. It's going to solve all of that. It's going to take your car back to that original condition that you picked it up when you first bought it, when you were so proud that you got it. And remember, these days, we're actually keeping our cars for longer because cars are better, so they will go for longer. So how about looking after it? If you think about it right now, if you go to any of these places where you stop at the side of the road, even a basic valet, it's going to cost you £20 plus, isn't it? And remember, that's just a here and now. 5 days later, 2 days later, whatever it might be, you drive through a muddy puddle, you hit a pothole, you get a tar spot on the bonnet and whatever, and you think, oh, why did I bother spending all of that money? If you think about how far these bottles go, every one of these bottles will clean your car around about 5 or 6 times. So we're talking about a one-off cost of £24.99. How often do you wash your car? Is it a pleasure on a Sunday to go out onto your drive? And remember, with the jumbo sponge, because it is that big, you're getting a lot of coverage from that as well. You'll know what the right amount of polish is for this. It's going to clean, it's going to protect as well, remember. This deal is amazing. I'd be very, very quick on the phone lines. If you think about it, it might be for the other half. You might think, actually, this is great because, you know, you've got another half who takes care of their pride and joy, their car. We spend a lot of money on our cars as well. So call us right now. Remember, this is all you should be getting for £24.99, but we are adding another 2 bottles right now at no extra charge. You know, technically speaking, that's another £30 worth of value being included, absolutely just for the love of you. So call us now, 0808 123 3333. I love this already, David.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is an amazing deal. Can I show you on this
Yeah.
car door? Now, of course, any colours, any type of paintwork. This is an old scrapyard car door. There's bits missing off it, and it's a bit battered. But I've actually put some more tar on here to make it a little bit worse. And I just want to rub a little bit off to show you exactly how this works. So I'm going to take the CarMaster polish. I'm going to put it on one of the cloths. Now, you get the cloths in with the kit, don't you, Derek? So it is.
You do.
You've got everything you need. If I just dab a little bit on and I leave it there just for a few seconds, let the polish do its work. And this is the good news. You go right round the car, you apply the polish to any bird lime, any tree sap, any marks on there that you don't want on the surface. Leave it for a bit longer than I have and let it do its work, and then you don't have to do so much work. Then by just simply wiping over the surface, that mark has gone. Doesn't harm anything, doesn't harm you, doesn't wear you out. What it does do is leave that surface absolutely pristine, back as the factory originally delivered the car.
Talking of which, actually,
Yeah.
when I got my new car a couple of years ago, they gave me, in fact, they sold me one of these deals.
Right.
And they said, you kind of have to take it to get a good price.
Right.
So it was this great big bag of stuff. There were bottles of this and that. And
Right.
that. And do you know where it is?
Yeah.
It's still in the same bag, in the same place in the garage.
Right.
It's never seen the light of day because you kind of think if there's too many products,
Exactly.
too big a job, I won't do it.
It's overcomplicated. This is uncomplicated. It's very simple. Wash the car to get rid of the grit and particles. If you leave particles on there, the chances are you rub them in, you're going to scratch them. Hose the car down just to get rid of the particles. Then you can go onto it with the polish. Very, very quick and simple. Now I'm going to show you here on this bit of chrome. There's a bit of a chrome bumper off a vehicle.
I thought it was a piece of white plastic. To
No,
be honest with you.
well, let me just show you. Even if you leave the polish on there for as long as you want, it doesn't matter. You just go over it with the cloth or with the sponge and you will get a fabulous shine. Look at that. It's a mirror shine on the surface.
Do you know what? That kind of look, how many of people, when the Beast from the East and everything else arrived, when you had the salt on the roads and everything else, that was
Exactly.
kicking it up onto your bumpers and everything else.
Yep.
Look at that. I mean,
absolutely fantastic. Well, not just on shiny chrome. Let me show you something here, because we've got a mirror. Now, again, with the mirror on the surface of the glass, you end up with some streaks and smears and all sorts of things. All you do is you take the polish, whether it's glass windows, patio doors, the glass on the car, the windscreen, you'll get a perfect shine. Turn the cloth over, buff it to a shine, and I think you'll agree with me that, let me move it. Oh, you look at that. That's a nice picture of me upside down.
Gorgeous.
There we go. Oh, look at that. You could hang that on your wall. But actually, that is absolutely fantastic. A brilliant shine, a brilliant reflection, no harm done, and very, very simple to achieve that result.
So as well as being a car polish, come with me, let me show you what you're going to get here. So as well as being a car polish, actually you could take this into the bathroom as well. If you've got one of those mirrors that just never seems to get clean, why not try it? Why not try it indoors as well? Remember what we're looking at here. Make a note of the item number. You should have ordered yours by now, to be honest with you, because there'll be so many people. If you remember Price Crash back in the day, it was the same two of us there, setting light to car bonnets and this, that and the other. And here we are with an amazing product. I'm going to show you again just how amazing this product is as well. Remember, it is a trade formula. You should only be getting 2 bottles in the deal for £24.99, but we have decided, because we're sort of introducing it back on TV, we're going to double up the deal for you. So we're going to get 1, 2 and 2 extra bottles as well. Remember, they have a trade price on them as well. Every one of them should be £14.99 on the shelf. Remember, this is a Valitor's secret as well, because this is a formula which is used in the trade as well. You've got, if you think about these as £15 each, 15, 30, 45, 60, the maths is easy here, isn't it? £24.99. And remember, it's not just the Carmaster polish that you're getting here. You're getting your 5 cleaning cloths as well. And more importantly, you are getting the jumbo sponge. Remember David's scientific kind of measurement. A blob is what you need. That's all you need. £24.99 to clean your car, to protect your car, to go over all of the surfaces. I have to say, how much money could this save you if every bottle can do your car 5 or 6 times over? It's just phenomenal. It really is. Should we see this in action again? Because it really is. I mean, if you think about what it can do in terms of protecting, make sure you're on the telephone lines and ordering this. And David, just show me what you're doing here again. It looks like vandalism to me.
It does really. Well, it's a demonstration just to show how well protected the paintwork is after polishing. So we've polished the car, we've then set fire to it, and you can see the flame, and actually there's more and more lighter fluid going on there to burn the surface. It's a very hot surface now, so I'm spraying it with the water just to cool it down. I don't know if you can see it too well, but if you look carefully, you'll see a very dark burn mark in there. It was a bright day that day, so it's difficult to get the shot, but you can see it burning into the paintwork. Now we've got to restore it, and this is the tricky bit. Will it restore it? Has it protected it? Well, it's clearly not crazed or cracked or blistered the paint. We go over it with the sponge, and you can actually see that coming up brighter straight away as the sponge goes over. Now watch what I do here. As I've done that, I flip the sponge over, and I use the clean side of the sponge to get a finish and a shine on the surface.
You can see on the top of the sponge, actually, you know, the carbon and everything else from the burn mark coming out. But it's not just about burning. I mean, obviously, most of us are not, you know, putting lighter fluid deliberately on our car. What David's demonstrating here is not only the fact that it will clean, but it's actually protecting. So I'm guessing because this has wax in it as well, every time you're using it, it's almost like another layer of protection, is it?
It does, yeah. It won't build up and cause a problem, but it will reapply it, and it will leave it in that bright, shiny condition. Now, I'm just spraying water on there, so you can see how it's beading. Those beads will just trickle off and run. In fact,
off they go.
Off they go.
On cue.
So that's how it works. Now, when you wash the car to get the dust off, you can hose it down on your driveway, wherever you want, or you can take it to a car wash and let them just have the cheapest car wash that you can get, just to get rid of the grit. Then you put the polish on. Now, there's your blob. You can see how rich and creamy it is. You can see how it stands up on its own 2 feet.
Yeah, and a lot of them are quite sort of runny.
They are indeed. In fact, some polishes you can actually spray with a spray gun.
That's right,
which means that actually there's some dilution in there, and you're not getting all of the waxes and all of the bits and pieces that you need to do the job. Now, you'll notice what happened here. I had water on the surface, and all I'm doing is moving my arm around. That's not only dried the surface, but actually it's waxing it again, and very, very quickly and simply. So I turn the sponge over, I use the dry side of the sponge and that will put that shine on there.
Do you know, sorry, can I just say one other thing? You know, usually, and I've done this before, I've thought, right, okay, I'm going to go out, I'm going to clean the car, you know, that once every 3 years, once every blue moon thing.
Yeah.
And I go out with a cloth. The cloth ends up completely saturated with polish. I'm putting too much on. I'm moving the wrong amount on as well. This actually, the sponge really does help to get the right application, doesn't it?
It does indeed. And the reason that a lot of people don't wash their cars often enough is because a lot of times it's very, very hard work.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of products that you get, your different one for your metallic paint, a different one for flat paint. You know, and then you need something for your chrome alloys or your chrome wheels or your chrome parts of the car, the plastic, the bumpers.
Yeah.
This polish will do everything. And if you're wondering whether you can go around the plastic parts of the car, even on this matte black finish, you can go on there with the polish. I can even dab that on, and which is something that you would never willingly do, because you'll think, well, that's going to turn to chalk and it'll never ever come off. What happens with this is it's designed specifically to go around all of the parts of the car. You can leave that on and let it haze over, and it will still dust off and leave that plastic part in pristine condition, the same as it was the day it was made.
Quick question that's just popped into my head. A lot of people have got classic cars. They like to take them out on a Sunday afternoon. You know, there's big rallies and hill climbs and everything else for people in their classic cars. Brilliant. Does it matter about the age of the car?
No, it doesn't. It's absolutely brilliant for that. And again, I'm just going to put a blob on, a tiny blob, because I won't need much for this, but this is a chrome... blob. This is a chrome hubcap from an old Jag. And they don't have hubcaps like this anymore, but if you've got a classic car, you can go over all of the parts, the glass windows, mirrors, the paintwork, apply the polish, go right round the car. When you come back to where you started, and it is very, very quick to apply, when you come back to where you started, it will have hazed over. You take the duster and you simply buff to a shine. It's as simple and as easy as that, and I think you'll agree with me. On a very old Jaguar hubcap, we turn it the right way around, that is absolutely fantastic. It really is.
And you don't see them that often now, because David's got them all in his garage, that's why. Let's go and have a look at the glass again, David, because again, remember, I've told you this story, and I'm sure you've heard the story as well. Maybe you've even got one of those bags from the dealership that they convinced you to take. Take this so-and-so shine kit. It's a great big, very smart looking bag. It's full of all of these different products. One's for the glass, one's for the chrome, one's for this, one's for that. And you look at it and you think, bamboozling, can't be bothered, we'll never do it.
That's right. It's complicated, isn't it? But with this, it isn't. One product does everything. It goes round the whole car, the chrome, the rubber trim, the glass windows and mirrors, everything you can see on the car, it will polish. Alloy wheels, chrome hubcaps, and in fact, the headlights, it will clean and polish those as well. Now, I'm just showing you how easy it is. Just move your arm backwards and forwards. What happens is, as you're applying the polish, it starts to haze up and it starts to just dry. As you turn the sponge over, you can use the back of the sponge, which generally tends to stay dry. Rinse the sponge out after a while if you want, and start, you know, let it dry out and use it next time. Keep using the cloths and the sponges over and over and over. That job is done. I'm just going to pop that down there. And if you want to finish off with a dry duster, then take one of your cloths, go over the surface, and I think you'll agree with me, that is absolutely perfect. And as far as removing tar is concerned, I showed you that. Do you want to see a little bit more of that, Derek?
Yes,
I'll show you. Okay.
I do want to just quickly remind you that you are getting these you're getting 4 of these bottles, remember. You should be getting 2. But we're actually adding another 2 as well. That price is still only £24.99. I should remind you that as a trade formula, the price on the back of the bottle is actually £14.99 each. Now, that's the price that it suggested that we should put this on a shelf in a dealership or a car showroom or you know, a wholesaler's, and actually sell it at £14.99 a bottle. So not only are we doing a massive discount for you, but we're giving you the opportunity to get this home and try it right now. It is a free call on 0808 123 3333. Now listen, before you do anything else, David, and clean it off, I just want to prove that actually, you know what, you can put your finger through that and you can try and rub it off.
It won't come off.
You know what, you're going to have to a lot of rubbing.
Yeah, you are indeed. And actually, if you know, the roads at the moment are very, very bad.
They're in a terrible state, aren't they? Potholes and everything else. It throws up.
That's right. But when they repair the roads, what happens is they put tar in there. The tar's hot and soft, and for a while there's a danger of it spitting up onto your car and sticking to your paintwork, and that does happen quite a lot. With this will remove the tar from your paintwork quite easily. I'm just using it with my finger to show you there's nothing harmful in there. It's not going to do you or your paintwork or anybody else any harm. Leave it on the surface, go round the car, dabbing it on wherever you see tar or birdlime or tree sap. Tree sap's a big problem as well because people park under trees. Sometimes you don't have a choice.
I know. And the birds sit in the trees as well, don't they?
Yes,
doesn't help.
That's right. And the other thing,
they eat.
No, I know. The other thing as well is that some colours are more susceptible to a problem from the sun and the sunlight. Red is a particularly tricky colour. It seems to attract the rays of the sun and dull the paint down. Now that's done, that will be restored. If that was a dull red paint that had been damaged by the sunlight, turn the cloth over by the way, and that's finished, then that will restore the paint. It will bring it back up to a nice, beautiful shine.
And just to reiterate for a second that David has sped up that demonstration so that you can see it working right now. Normally what you would do is you'd leave that there a few minutes and then go back to it afterwards. Dave, I'll be back to you in just a second because you and I need to have a word. If you think about how much you spent on your car, how much was it, or how much is it costing you every single month? Of course, if you've got your car on some kind of, hire purchase or something like that, you've got to look after it. You've got to maintain its value for when it goes back, so you've got the value to swap it for another one. Maybe you've got an old classic car that you're looking after and you want to keep it looking its best. Maybe you want a job that's not going to take you hours and hours and hours. And actually, I don't know about you, but I don't really like the idea of someone else having my car for an hour to valet it and whatever, and then parting with, I don't know, 25, 30 quid, 40 quid. Well, you can pay lots of different prices for car valeting, can't you? Even going through my car wash, actually at the supermarket locally to me, the gold car wash that they call, £6.99, which is not bad, but I think of how many £6.99s over a few months. When we had the bad weather over the winter, you had all the salt coming up off the road, it was dirtying the car all the time. If you could go out onto your own drive and do it yourself and sort it out yourself, then you would, wouldn't you? And it's not going to take a long time either. Let me remind you what you're getting on the deal. If you are quick on the phone lines, by the way, this is always popular. Why do you think we're back on TV with it right now? Because it is so popular. And remember, it's the same Derek and David you saw 12 years ago, 13 years ago, bringing you the up-to-date Car Master polish now. You should only be getting the 2 bottles, by the way, for £24.99. We've decided to add an extra 2 in this deal as a bit of a relaunch. She's back on TV again, so let's celebrate that in style. So you're actually getting another 2 bottles at no extra charge. Now, these have a trade price of £14.99 on the back of them. It's the price that it's suggested we should sell these bottles at. So if you think about these as £15 each, 15, 30, 45, 60, the maths is fairly simple there, isn't it? You're getting all of that for about a third of the price. Remember, you are getting the 5 cleaning cloths there as well, and the all-important jumbo sponge. I think most of us have been putting on car polish with a microfiber cloth, thinking we're being very clever and very protective for the car and everything else, but we're soaking and saturating the car, and we're getting half the car polish up our arm as well. Let's get rid of all of that. Let's get a nice simple deal and a product that I know that works as well. Call us now, 0808 123 3333. I don't know how long this is going to be on screen for, by the way, so do make sure that you take advantage of it while you can. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
How long, I mean, how long is a piece of string, I know, but how long on average is it going to take me to get right round the car and be finished and back indoor with a cup of tea?
Well, do you know what? It's 10 minutes, isn't it, really? Because all you do is you take the polish with the bottle and you take the sponge. So your car is washed, so there's no grit on it, so you're not worried about scratching the surface of the car. A blob on the surface, you do the door panel and the front wing. Another blob, you've done the bonnet. Another blob, you've gone around and done the other wing and the door. And you're just wiping your arm. You're applying it. You don't have to rub it in. The only time you may need to rub a little bit is if you've got very dull flat paint and the colour has faded a little bit. You want to restore that. You might need to give it a second, a few seconds longer to apply it. But actually, it's very quick. You can be round the car in 10 minutes or less. I'm very athletic, takes me 3 minutes.
Very good.
But actually, if it takes
3-minute car.
That's right.
Do you know, you've just reminded me of something, David, and I know I've done this. I've been guilty of this. I'm sure you have at home as well before. If you've got a very, very stubborn piece of, it's bird. What do you call it? Bird
lime. Yeah.
Bird lime.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't look like a lime.
No.
I'll tell you that now. But I've actually had some of that so welded onto my car. I've actually gone at it with a knife.
That's right.
Which is not a good idea, really, if you think about it.
No, that's right. You mustn't do that. All you do is you put a small amount of the polish onto the bird lime or the tree sap, and you leave it sat there. And you can see all I've done there. I've had polish on there and I've left it, and then you can see I've just gone over it with the cloth. So you'll put a little bit of polish onto the bird lime or tree sap, let it sit there just for a few minutes, and as you work your way around the car, you come back to where you started, and actually then you can just wipe it away because it softens it. Might take a few. I'm doing it very quickly here. I'm putting the tar on and then taking it off. But it is working very, very quickly. But actually, the brilliant thing about this is you can see where I've applied the polish. And it doesn't matter if you leave it for a little bit too long. It doesn't dry and become impossible to shift.
Well, listen, let's put that to the test, because I want to go back to...
Yeah.
It's this.
The chrome, yeah.
If you have a little look at this for a second, I mean, before he cleaned that little bit at the end there, I thought this was a bit of frosted plastic. I had no idea what it is. But I do know that when all of that bad weather, we had all the salt being thrown up, and we had almost like this chalky haze all over the car.
Yeah.
But this is not white plastic, is it?
No, it's not. In fact, it's chrome, and it's a chrome bumper panel off an older car. And all I'm going to do is give that a wipe, and you can see the shine and the reflection there. In fact, I'll take it all off.
That's incredible.
And then you'll see the start and the finish, and that's it, just wiping it. So it doesn't even matter if that polish has been on there for a long time. If you get a phone call in the middle and you've got to rush inside to answer the phone, you want to go and have a cup of tea, apply the polish to the surface, go and get yourself a brew, and then take a look at the car, give it a quick dust over, and it will come up like brand new. And
we're going to prove that even longer, because we're going to leave that there even longer while we go and actually watch this in action, because David's been outside as well, and whoever car this is, you're very brave to lend it to David for an hour.
Well, they didn't know about it, actually. We saw it in a car park, and we thought, this'll do. This looks like a nice car. So we changed the number plate, we put our own number plate on it, and we set fire to it. Actually, what we did, we polished the car first, just to make sure it was protected. If you do this to an unprotected painted surface, the chances are you'll blister and crack the paint.
Yeah.
And it will bubble, and you'll have to have a respray, which is going to cost you a few grand. So this is going to protect the paintwork. I'm cooling it down now with the spray because it's very hot after setting fire to it, and there's a burn mark on the surface. And all I'm going to do now is apply a blob of polish to the sponge, and I'm going to go over the surface and remove the burn. You can see as the sponge is moving, there's a sort of circle of the dirt being moved off there, and the soot. And actually, as I go over it, look at that, completely gone. Now I'm going to flip the sponge over, turn it over, dust it off. Sometimes you don't even need the cloth, and you'll be able to get a fantastic shine. That's protected it, it's shined it, it's actually restored it from a burnt surface into a brand new surface, and it looks absolutely stunning.
It is incredible. Now, if you think about it, this makes great sense. It made great sense 12, 13, 14 years ago when we saw the demonstrations back then. Remember, I mean, no one deliberately smacks tar onto their bonnet. We've shown you a really, really extreme example of how this can work, but it does work, and it does remove it. Not only does it clean your car, but it protects it for the future as well. So every time you're using it, you might just be increasing the visibility of your headlights because the water is just beading straight off it rather than the dirt and everything else sticking to it. Remember, you can go over all of the surfaces as well, so it's not just like the shiny painted surfaces. You can go over the chrome and the alloys and the windows and everything else. This is a great all-rounder. So you can get rid of, you know, that great big bag of a spray for this and a spray for that and a bottle for this and a bottle for that. And do you ever bother? No, it's too bamboozling. One product does it all. Now, remember, for your $24.99, you should only really be getting these two bottles. They are half-litre trade formula bottles with a price tag on their own of $14.99. It's the price at which it's suggested they should be sold at. You're actually getting a bonus 2 bottles in this offer if you call us right now. But the important thing is that you call right now. Remember, it is a free telephone number, 0808 123 3333. I have to say, for me, this is brilliant because it reminds me of all of those times where I have neglected the car. I have just run into the supermarket car wash and I've spent that $6.99 a time. And remember, you might do it. You go shopping once a week, you might go into the car wash once a week. So that's, you know, £7 every week or every fortnight. That adds up and up and up. If you worked it out over a year, you'd cry, wouldn't you? This is £24.99 once right now. And remember, all you need to do is actually rinse the car off first, which you can do with your hose pipe or, you know, bucket and sponge or whatever you want to. And then this will do absolutely everything else. I would say, try it. Because actually, I've been like you, watching a product like this and thinking, yeah, but is it really everything they say it is? I got a product like this. Of course, I've got this product as well. I've had it for many, many years because David and I were demonstrating it 12 years ago. So I have been using it. And I have to say, to get that extra level of clean, protection and shine, you're impressed by your car. And I tell you what, that's worth its weight in gold. Call us right now to get the offer. If you are waiting in a queue, I am so sorry, but just bear with us. Remember, we're paying for that call, 0808 123 3333. And it's funny, isn't it, David, that I mean, this product, when so many other products have come and gone, has stood the test of time.
It has indeed, you're absolutely right. And the reason for that is because it does exactly what it says on the tin, or on the bottle actually. So I've applied polish to this glass mirror, and just to show you how it works, even if it's been left on there for a long time, if I just take the cloth and just dust over it, my mirror's wobbling about a bit, hopefully your windows and mirrors on your car won't be. But if I just give that a little dust over, can you see there? It removes all of the excess polish that's not needed and it leaves the surface absolutely bright and shiny.
We can see you in all your glory all over again.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, there I am. Hello.
So you could take this indoors as well. So if you've got a bit of a mirror in the bathroom that is a stubborn pain to clean, it might be toothpaste marks on a mirror that you just can never get rid of.
That's right.
No matter how much you do it.
And of course, you know, use it in the bathroom, and the old story about polishing the bathroom mirror and it stops it from steaming up. That will apply with this as well, so you can do that with it. Now again, remember, when we say go round all of the parts of the car, that's exactly what we mean. Now nobody would ever dream of putting polish directly onto any of the black bumper parts of the car, because what happens is it tends to go chalky and dry in, and then you need to get a toothbrush or a nail brush, you know, somebody else's toothbrush obviously. But with this you don't need to. If I apply that quite heavily to the surface, and then as it starts to haze over, you can just take your cloth and you just wipe over the surface. That will then restore that surface to factory condition. So it's not going to make a dull surface shine, it'll make a dull surface look how it's meant to look. You see what I mean? So it takes the rubbish off, it leaves it as it should be. And if you've got paintwork that's glossy, it'll make it gloss and it'll make it shine. You know, it's as simple as that. It'll restore it to how it's meant to be, and it'll put that protection on there as well.
One bottle, I'm going to ask you again, be honest with me, how many cars can I get out of, I mean, obviously cars are different shapes and sizes.
5 or 6 cars. You're not going to use it on the rag top if you've got a soft topped car, but if you've got any other type, cars and vans, any type, classic cars, you know, if you've got something which you've spent 100 grand on, a Lamborghini, a Porsche, any other Mercedes, Jag, I could name them all, this will do it. And if you've got a car like this one, which was basically this is from a scrapyard, and the paintwork was terrible when we got it, and so we've given it a couple of goes, and it's come up. It's absolutely fantastic. And the beauty of this polish is it doesn't matter what kind of car you've got, the polish will do the whole job for you in one simple, easy action.
Do you know what I've just thought of, David, as well? A lot of people spend a lot of time, it's funny, isn't it? We are funny as Brits sometimes. We polish the car, we clean the car, but we're dragging along a white Caravan that hasn't seen polish since, you know, since 1972. Can it do caravans?
Caravans, actually, you're right. It'll do caravans. It'll do that enamel type finish. It'll do fiberglass as well. If you've got a boat, you know, they say the 2 best days of owning a boat is the day you buy it, the day you sell it.
Yes.
Well, the day you buy it is when it's been, you know, it's had its good old polish and it looks fantastic. And the day you sell it is the day it's had another good old polish. Well, with this, you can do it in between time, so you can get that boat looking absolutely fantastic. The white fiberglass tends to go a little bit dull and yellow sometimes. This will bring it back back up and restore it. And where I've had the polish on there, I always say go round the whole car. You can do a panel at a time if you want, but I always say go round the whole car, apply the polish. As it starts to haze over, then you just take the cloth and you just wipe over the surface and dust it off.
And bear in mind that we are kind of, in our studio, we're kind of replicating a hot sunny day as well, because I'm telling you what, there's a lot of lights above us right now, and they're coming straight the way down onto this bonnet now. Now, the sun is a lot further away than our lights in the studio. Let's go back to the door, David, because I know that tar's been on that door for a long, long time.
It has indeed, yeah, and I always put the tar on early, so it's been on there for a while. I'm going to put a little bit onto the cloth, and I'll just put that there and show you. So I'm going to just take that blob of tar, and I'm going to blob of polish rather, and dab it onto the tar surface there. Now go round your car, you see the bird line, the tree sap, all of those things that you want to clean up. I'll just do it with my finger just to show you. That will start to break down. You can see it breaking down the tar there. It will take a couple of minutes. You can see that started already.
Yeah.
But we haven't got a couple of minutes, so if I just give that a little whiz round, you'll see, look at that. You'll see it is absolutely amazing. Now there's nothing gritty in there, there's nothing harmful. What it will do is it will clean the surface, it will apply the wax, which will bond itself molecularly to the surface, and that's what gives you the protection. So that surface now is protected against weather, against all sorts of the elements that are falling on it, ice, rain, snow, all sorts of types of things. And, I mean, not that we suggest you set fire to your car, but we did a demonstration with flames, with the heat.
Yeah, we did.
It stopped the paintwork from blistering and cracking and crazing. No respray needed. That job there is absolutely perfect. It absolutely is. I
don't know about you, but I'm really, what impressed me the most is, you know, because I've been in this situation where, you know, I hope the dealership aren't watching right now, but when they sold me the car, they said, okay, well, if you take this so-and-so kit, which, you know, will shine your car forever and ever and ever,
yes,
then you get a more favourable rate. And I think that came out at something like 250 quid, and I kind of felt pressured into doing it a little bit. But I've got all of these different products. I love with this that you haven't got to get the window spray to do the windows. You haven't got to get the mirror spray to do the mirrors. You haven't got to do this spray to do that. Because that, quite frankly, I look at it as a bamboozling bag of stuff that I just think, well, it's still in the same place it was 3 years ago when I got the car. So
that's right.
That tells you everything, doesn't it?
This is simple, and you don't have to be afraid of using this on any different types of surfaces, because this is good to use on every surface you've got on the car. With those other ones, you think, well, what if I get that window spray onto the paintwork, or if that goes onto the black bumper or the plastic trim? Is it going to be a problem? With this, it's not a problem. Whack it on the whole car, go right over the whole thing, dust it off, bingo, the job's done, the car looks like new.
I love the fact as well that the pre-treatment for this, you know, the preparation, the run-up, isn't lots of different bottles and formulas, it's water.
That's right.
I think we've all got water, haven't we, one way or another?
Exactly. Wash the car to get the grit and dirt off it, because if you've got any grit, you know, and you rub onto that, you're going to scratch it. I don't care what anybody says, but you have to wash the car first to get the grit off, and then you can polish it absolutely quickly and simply and get a beautiful finish.
Right, okay, well, you've missed a bit, but we're coming back to that in a moment. You come with me, because I've got to show you what we've got in this kit today. Now, remember, this is a special offer right now. It doesn't usually go as low as this. I'm telling you now, this is really, really good. Not only for your just $24.99. I mean, let's just think, forget, I'm not here to ram this down your throat, but let's just think about one trip to the valeters. You know, you go to a big shopping centre or a city centre car park, and often you can get a space on the bottom floor where they will valet your car. So you leave them with your keys for an hour or two or whatever. You come back and you part with what? 20 quid, 30 quid, 40 quid, whatever it is, and they do an amazing job, and you go out, and then a day later, or on the way home from that trip, a bird flies by. We know what happened. What was that? What was that? Wasn't me, I promise you that. And then you've got to clean the car all over again, haven't you? With this, remember, you're not just cleaning the car, you're protecting the car for the future as well. You're adding that layer of protection. But remember, you're actually getting the deal that the valeters are not getting right now, because this is a formula for them. It's not really for us, it's for them. And they actually have a price on each bottle which suggests that it should be $14.99 a bottle. So if we reckon up the numbers for just a quick second, that would be 15, 30, 45, 60. That maths is kind of easy. You've got a price of just $24.99 because you're only paying for these 2 bottles. These 2 are coming along for free for the ride, for you to try it. And actually, it might be that you find the product is so good that you think, you know what, Graham next door with your classic car or whatever it is, I'm going to give you a bottle of this and you can try it. And then when your 1 bottle is finished, you can go to Price Crash and you can go and get the deal if it's still here by then. Remember, you are getting the 5 cleaning cloths with this as well, and you are getting the jumbo sponge. And for me, that's the secret. It's the secret of applying it. It's the secret of speed as well, because who wants to spend 2 hours on the drive on a Sunday afternoon doing that? If this can do that job in, let's say, 20 minutes or half an hour, and you've got that car there that's clean and shining and gleaming, and you're proud of it, I think that's got to be worth its weight in gold, don't you? $24.99. Call us right now. And again, if you want extreme tests, David and I used to do this kind of thing live in the studio. I remember. I always used to hold on to my eyebrows. Have a little look at this. Have a little look at this. This is David, still the same vandal he was back then, out with his lighter fluid again.
Yeah, well, we found this car. We thought it looked rather nice, you know, and the colour was good. So, you know, hopefully nobody recognises it as theirs. But we put, we set fire to it after polishing. We did polish the bonnet, and then we set fire to it to show you the protection. So it's not going to crack and craze the paint. It's not going to need a respray. Cooling it down now with water just to take the heat out of it, because that is a very, very hot surface now. There's steam coming off there. You can't quite see it in the lights, but there is steam coming off there because it's so hot. Now we apply the polish. So again, you take some on the sponge. You can see it's rich and creamy. It's a very, very thick, pure, sort of, you know, full of all the goodness rather than it being, you know, 50% water. Then you apply it to the surface and you'll see the dirt and grime and the burn mark actually coming off. It was burnt deep into the paint. It didn't crack and craze it because it's protected, and the burn mark comes off onto the sponge and we get a beautiful shine. I just flip the sponge over. You can do it with the duster as well, but just for speed, flip the sponge over and that job is done.
Okay, there's 2 things I need to say for legal reasons. 1, he was only joking about the car. The owner was fully aware, completely and utterly. And 2, please do not try that demonstration at home, because obviously David has, on that very, very expensive car, he did use this product first. So if you go straight to your car now with lighter fluid and set fire to it, please don't come screaming to us when your paint looks like mumps, because it's the protection of this product that actually allows that, and it is a very, very extreme demonstration. But I do remember us, we used to do it in the studio.
Yeah, and we had somebody standing by with a fire extinguisher and so on.
We did.
The good news is, when a polish is applied like this, and it's a trade polish, the reason they call this a trade polish and the reason it's used by the valeters is because of all the reasons it says here. It's got Knorr wax in it, which gives you that high gloss shine. It polishes, it protects, and it shines in one easy application. Now, you don't want to have a valeter coming round to your house and spending all afternoon doing the job.
Do you know, you just read my mind, because I was just about to say to you, because you know people in high places, you know people with posh cars. So if they have a valeter, you know, they don't go to the valeter comes to them. How much-ish can they charge?
Well, they can charge what they want, anything from £40–50 up to £150, depending on what they do.
Crikey.
The thing you've got to remember is they want to be in and out of there as quickly as possible, so they're not going to use half a dozen different things.
No.
They want to whiz over that car as quickly as possible. They've given you a price to do it, and they use this. This is the polish. They give the car a quick wash to get the grit off it, and then they go over it with this over all the surfaces.
And do you know what? That makes so much sense, doesn't it? Because if you've ever been to, we've all been to them and seen them.
Yeah.
You know, you go first level of the car park, the best parking places.
Yes.
They're where you can get your car valeted, aren't
That's
they?
right. Yeah.
And actually, they say to you, right, give us an hour.
That's right.
And you come back, and it's done, and you think, well, gosh, I couldn't do it in an hour.
No, but they can, because they've got all the right products. And in fact, when you use it at home, because it is quick and simple and easy to use, you'll go around your car literally in 10 minutes. You'll have applied the polish to the surface all around the car. You see how that sort of hazes over, and then as you polish it, it just it disappears, doesn't it? So it takes any grease, any marks, any scratches, that type of lightweight stuff it'll get rid of on your paintwork, any hazy marks, key scratch type things. Look at that. I've done the job, but it's sort of it gives you so much pleasure going over it that I carry on dusting it even though I've already done it.
And again, I mean, I'm just thinking about beyond the car as well. I guess sometimes as well, inside, can you do the glass on the inside of the car
You
as
can
well?
indeed. It will stop the glass from steaming up and misting. Look at the reflection there, and it will. If you if you've got any smoky smells or any smoky haze on the inside of the windows, this will get rid of all of that as well.
Do you know, that's another point. I have,
smell.
in between us doing this last time, years and years ago, and us doing it now, I encountered another product.
Right.
I know I shouldn't say that out loud. And the smell of it was like Grimsby Docks.
Oh, right.
Old fish. It was awful.
Well, they do reckon there's a lot of oil in fish, isn't there? So maybe it did have some of that in it. Maybe they were using fish oil to polish your car.
This is quite neutral, actually, isn't it?
It is. It is, yeah. It's a great product. It's a great all-around product. Every part of this product is fantastic. The good news is easy to apply. It goes on every part of the car. It doesn't haze over if you use it on the black vinyl or black bumpers. It's useful for, inside the house as well. Use it on your shower screen if you want to. Use it on the inside of your window. You've got
that's a good
doors.
idea.
Yep, if you've got bifolds or French windows, brilliant on that. But for around the car, it is absolutely second to none. And if I smack a bit more tar on there, when you get hot tar off the road surface, it lands on the paintwork. You don't bang it onto the surface, but it does go on there, and it leaves. Oh, I've put probably a bit too much on there, but if I put that on and leave it on and let it just sit there for a moment, and then we'll see what happens.
I've got to have a word with you because we've got to move on very, very shortly. We're coming towards the end of this demonstration. Thank you so much for your time. Please make sure that you order yours as soon as you possibly can. Now, if lines were busy the first time you called and you weren't waiting for whatever reason, make that call right now. 0808 123 3333. Why does this make sense? Well, yes, it's going to save you money, isn't it? And all of those practical things in terms of, pound notes in your pocket, but it's about the results that you're getting as well. $24.99, and you might only ever need to buy it once. I maybe shouldn't say that because the boss might have a word, but you know what, I think you'll be recommending this to other people as well when they see what, because they will notice a difference. It might be Graham from next door that comes around and says, well, who have you been to see with your car? And you can say, oh, have you not seen this? Have you not seen the CarMaster polish? Actually, this is what I've got. I've been around the car in 20 minutes. I've done the job. You're getting 4 bottles, remember, in your deal. I mean, you're only paying for the 2 bottles, but we're popping an extra 2 in at no extra charge. So it might be that you give a bottle to Graham next door, and then he comes to us for his supply when he needs it as well. And remember, and I think this is the most important thing, David.
Yeah.
This is, as it was back then, this is a formula that we shouldn't have. You and I shouldn't have it. It should only be, I mean, it is used in the trade, and it's only them that should have it.
Exactly, it is a trade formula, and it's used by them because it's fast, it's quick, it's simple, it's easy.
That's brilliant.
There you go. Isn't it fantastic?
Beautiful.
And this is a very, very old hubcap off an old Jag. They don't have these anymore, so you can tell how old it is. And it restores it and brings it up absolutely like new. It's fantastic, it really is. What a brilliant, brilliant product. Definitely should have this.
Honestly,
in every home. Yeah.
Look, come with me because we are rapidly running out of time, and we're going to rapidly run out of stock of this as well. So do make that call as quickly as you possibly can. It might be that you've got an old banger that you're eking it out for every mile you can, and it might be that you're thinking of selling your car. And remember, if like me, you've got your car on finance over a 3-year deal, at the end of that deal, I've got to give it back to them, and I've got to give it back to them in a good condition. So that's why I keep going to the car wash at the supermarket and going for the gold car wash at $6.99 a time. But of course, a day later, you've driven through a muddy puddle, or you've got another bit of bad weather, and it's throwing up all sorts off the road, and it's dirty all over again. Remember, all you need as a pre-treatment is water, and you can do that from the hose or a bucket or whatever, and clean the car off, and then then this will do everything else. And remember, it's not just the painted surface. It will do the chrome, it'll do the rubber, it'll do the bumpers, it'll do the mirrors, it'll do the windows. It'll do the whole 9 yards for you. So you haven't got to drag out all of these different, here's the cleaner for this, here's the cleaner for that, here's the cloth for this, here's the cloth for that. Remember, you're getting everything that you need. You're actually only paying for this element of it, by the way. So £24.99, you're getting the 2 half-litre bottles, each of which will do 5 or 6 round your car, which is just brilliant. 5 or 6 times cleaning your car. You get the 5 cleaning cloths and you get the jumbo sponge. This is genius. I never would have thought of using car polish with a sponge before, but it makes a lot of sense. And you can see how evenly it goes on as well. Remember, you're getting the 2 bottles absolutely free of all charge as well. So you're buying 2 and you're getting another 2, which is just brilliant. And if you think of these having a price, a trade price suggested at £14.99 per bottle, then if we call them 15 quid each, 15, 30, 45, 60, we've done the maths, I don't know how many times now. Get yourself on the telephone lines, because that's just one payment of £24.99. It might be the only time you ever need to buy this. I know I shouldn't say that, but if you think it will do so many times around your car. Now let's see with director Annie, have we got time to see this in action again with the demonstration? We have one more time. Let's roll tape and have a little look then, shall we? And this is David, remember, doing a very extreme demonstration that you would never do at home, please. What are you doing?
Well, we've painted, we polished the car, polished the paintwork, and then we're going to mistreat it completely and see if we can restore it afterwards. So obviously, you would never do this at home, and obviously don't try it, but we've set fire to the paintwork after polishing it. Now, the polish has protected the paint, so it's not crazed, it's not cracked, and it's not blistered. Now we're cooling it down, because it's a very hot surface. I don't want to apply the polish to the hot surface. It's going cooler as I'm spraying water onto it. Now we take the polish on the sponge. You can see how thick the polish is, a blob of polish on there, and then apply it with the sponge. And as you say quite rightly, the sponge gives that large surface area and it cleans and polishes very, very quickly in no time at all. The bonnet is virtually done. All of the burn mark, the soot and the grime that's gone in there from the burn is now taken off. And I turn the sponge over, I wipe over with the clean side of the sponge, and that surface is now absolutely polished and pristine. Brilliant,
Do you know what, David, I'm just thinking, if there are any of our viewers out there right now who are thinking about setting themselves up as a small business,
yeah,
they could do a lot worse than giving us a call and getting some of this, because actually, if you think about £24.99,
yes,
you can do 5 or 6 cars from one bottle.
Yes.
So that you could be talking 20 to 30 plus cars in the deal we've got for £24.99. I think you can make that back fairly soon.
You could when you know they charge 20, 30, 40 pounds or more, 50 pounds for a valet, and you're using this. Look at the cream there. It looks like something you'd put on your pudding, after you've had a meal.
Yeah.
And you want a bit of that on to sweeten it up. But don't go eating it. It's not for that. But just to show you how rich and creamy it really is. I've sprayed water on. You can see that heavy water beading on there. That's because of the wax. So the wax changes the surface tension, allows the beads not to form a film and to sit there. These beads will run off the surface, and actually, in fact, if I just tip that up, there they go. You can see them running off. So that surface will almost self-dry. But when you wash the car, always give it a quick wash before you wax it, because you don't want to rub grit, grime and dirt into the paint surface. That would scratch it. So I'm going over with the sponge with the polish, and you notice what's happened, Eric, the water has disappeared.
Yep.
It doesn't go up my sleeve or down my trouser leg. It goes into the sponge. When you get halfway around the car, you can wring the sponge out, the water will come out of it, and then just carry on and apply another blob.
And actually, the more you do it, the easier it seems to get as well, because you've been around this, the last hour that we've been talking about this, you've gone over and over and over this, I don't know, 10, 12 times, whatever it might be.
But you know what? Every time you do it, it applies a bit more wax. It doesn't build up and go cakey. It doesn't become hard to dust off. It stays the same. It just gives you, that surface now, just feel how smooth that is. Absolutely like glass.
It is amazing.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Right, David, get your tar out, because I need to have a word with our lovely friends here. It will be very, very busy on the phone lines. It always is for this, I have to say, because it is one of those things. Keep going, because there's noughts and crosses. Please make sure that you place your orders. You can order after the show as well, remember. So if you think when we move on, if you think, oh, that's it, too late, I've missed it, you can still give us a call. Fingers crossed, still available for you. 0808 123 3333. Now, if you think of the time of year that it is car cleaning time of the year, because finally we can get outside in the fresh air. It's quite nice, actually. It's a nice break from maybe the gardening, which you're enjoying, and thinking, right, okay, let's polish up Bertha or Lucy or whatever you call your car, because everyone calls their car something, don't they, David?
Well, I don't actually.
Oh, you do. He's being coy, that's what it is. I've seen Maud on the drive. $24.99 is your price tag. Remember what you are getting for that. You are getting, remember, you are paying for 2 of those bottles. You are getting another 2 at no extra charge. You are getting the 5 cleaning cloths as well, plus that jumbo sponge for $24.99. Right, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to impress.
Okay, well, that's not too difficult with this. It's very, very simple. That polish was caked up on the glass just to show you that it doesn't matter if you leave it on there a long time, or it will still come off and it will still shine and leave a beautiful smear-free surface. Take the duster. You get the dusters with it as well, don't you, Derek? You get 5 of those.
Yes,
so that's
you do.
A brilliant deal. Go over the surface and that job is absolutely done. Inside the house, outside the house, the car, the boat, the bike, the caravan, motorbikes as well, actually, we didn't mention, but motorbike.
Yes.
You can use this on and you will get an absolutely, look, there's that picture of me.
Look in a picture again,
there
David.
you go.
David, thank you as always.
Pleasure.
See you again
Lovely to
soon.
see you.
Thank you very much. And you, I tell you what, you lucky, lucky people, remember how good this deal is and how much you are getting for just $24.99. Remember, you've got your 2 bottles here, which have a price of $14.99, suggested that they should be sold at on each bottle. So that's 30 quid's worth on its own, isn't it? You've got the 5 cleaning cloths and the jumbo sponge, but remember, for everyone calling now, we're actually putting in an extra couple of bottles as well, which is another pretty much £30 worth of value, isn't it? I hope you've enjoyed the demonstrations and I hope you're on the phone lines enjoying this as well. Here's the details one final time then. 315088 is your item number. 315088. Remember, you can order it after the show as well, but do get it ordered as quick as you can. 0808 123 3333.